Back in late 2022, early 2023, ChatGPT was very revolutionary. Once it was released, people were able to give it a prompt and it would return an answer to you based on your prompt, and it would provide additional context. Since then, ChatGPT has revolutionized AI. Well, right now, a lot of companies are focusing on agentic AI that is completely autonomous, that can carry out tasks or even entire workflows completely on its own. This is a game-changing thing that's happening in the IT industry. I want you guys to check out these clips. You may be quite amazed by what agentic AI or autonomous AI can do.
Go build an AI agent, like right now. Google just launched by far the easiest way to start building your own AI agents or applications altogether. So I wanted to create this multi-agent architecture that can create courses for me that consisted of 4 different agents. I had this idea to have an orchestrator that can coordinate all of the agents. Then I had a web search agent that is considered a researcher, will go out and grab all the information from the web for me. Then a judge agent that'll judge all of the information based on what the researcher pulled and tell it to go back and pull more information if necessary. And then finally, a course builder agent, which takes all of that data and then compiles it into a course, sends it back to the user, all through the orchestrator agent. 4 different agents, but the constraint that I had was to have them all running independently on their own servers so I can scale them independently. So I took these requirements, plopped them into Gemini CLI using Gemini 3, and it came up with this entire fully functional working architecture with a couple key improvements. The first one, each agent scales independently. The second one, they all communicate independently using A to A, so they all know about each other's existence, but they can all scale and work independently from one another. And then finally, I had my own web application, which you can see here, that can coordinate all of the AI agents and have all of the AI agents speak right back to the website to give them updates at every given point in time, which you see here, judge agent running, researcher agent running, course builder agent running, so on and so forth. Comment below if you want the prompt that I used to create this. See ya.
I just built a team of 42 AI agents to run an entire sales department. Every single one of these is a specialist. We're talking hundreds of thousands worth of employees right here, and it might be the last team I'll ever have to train. And over the next 30 days, I'm going to be building this out into a complete AI workforce. Every department, every role, fully autonomous. So check this out. At the top, you've got the chief sales officer. This one oversees everything and delegates to each team's manager. I can actually chat to the chief right here, or to each manager, even the specialist directly. Here's the outreach team. Email writers, voice and SMS, even multilingual BDRs covering 8 different languages. RevOps handles all the systems. HubSpot, data warehouse, competitive intel, research and insights, looks into lead scoring, discovery call prep, account analysis, everything a rep needs before a meeting. And logistics handles things like scheduling, proposals, and enablement content. But here's what's insane. These agents actually talk to each other. The researcher passes context to the email writer. The call analyst feeds the follow-up drafter. These aren't just 42 separate agents. It's one system of domain experts that make up an entire AI workforce. This is how AI agents actually fit into a business. Not random chatbots, but a full org chart that actually compounds. This is day 1 of building the world's first true AI workforce. And if you want the complete breakdown of all 42 agents and the complete org chart, just comment 42 below and I'll send it through.
This AI tool handles all the tasks you throw at it. It's called Cortex, and it works as your autonomous agent that takes on entire workflows rather than single requests. It can build complete presentations with themes and layouts, clean datasets and create dashboards, write full documents with proper formatting, conduct deep research with source gathering, and even creates images. The system adapts to whatever type of work you throw at it and manages the entire process. The difference here is you get actual finished work ready to ship, not just rough ideas or templates to start from. Comment Cortex and I'll send you the link to try yourself.
You think you know AI agents? You don't. These are 4 types of AI agents, and if you master these 4, you can automate 80% of your workload. Type 1, general purpose task agents. This is like having a supercharged assistant. So ChatGPT's agent mode can run professional workflows like writing, analyzing, summarizing, all without you micromanaging it. Number 2, workflow agents. These connect to your business tools seamlessly. For example, Microsoft's Copilot Studio lets non-technical users build no-code flows inside Microsoft 365 and Azure. So things like lead capture, CRM update, follow-up emails can all run on autopilot. Number 3, specialized research and analysis agents. Let's talk GenSpark Super Agent. This beast orchestrates multiple models, runs research, builds slides and reports, and even stitches everything up into a polished deliverable. So you just tell it what you need and it figures out how to get there. Number 4, autonomous coding agents. These are agents that act on their own. Think of Replit Agent Free. From plain English, it writes full scripts from front end to back end, tests, debugs, and deploys. running for 3 hours straight. It's like you hired a developer that never sleeps. So if you layer just these 4 agents into your business, general task agents, workflow automation, research, and autonomous coding, you're not just saving time, you're redefining your capacity. And that's not even the wildest part, because the next 3 agents that I'll cover next don't just do tasks, they replace entire systems. So comment agents down below and I'll send you the full list of 7 AI agents that you need to implement in your business. And this is Jen and Tech, and follow me for more content about AI and sourcing.
While everyone's still figuring out ChatGPT, the people who are winning are already using something completely different, and most entrepreneurs still have no idea that it exists. It's called Agentic AI, and here's why it matters. ChatGPT responds to prompts. You ask, it answers. But Agentic AI, it acts autonomously to achieve goals. You give it an objective, and it figures out how to get there on its own. Think of it like this. ChatGPT is a helpful assistant who waits for instructions, whereas Agentic AI is an employee who understands the mission and executes without you micromanaging every step. Here's how it works. Perceive, reason, act, then learn. It gathers information from your environment. For example, your CRM, your emails, your calendar. It then analyzes that data and plans the best actions. Then it learns from the results and it adapts. And here's the wild part. By 2028, 33% of all enterprise software will have agentic AI built in. Right now, almost none does. We're at the very beginning of this shift, which means early adopters are about to capture massive value. Here's a real-world example. Instead of asking ChatGPT to write an email, an AI agent monitors your inbox, identifies urgent messages, drafts responses based on your communication style, and sends them, all without you touching your keyboard. It's not waiting for prompts, it's doing the actual work. Sounds like science fiction, but companies like OpenAI, Google, and Microsoft are already building this. The question isn't if this becomes standard, it's how fast you adapt to using it. Remember, this is the next cycle. Internet, iPhone, pandemic, online learning boom, AI automation. The people who learn to work with autonomous AI agents won't just save time. They'll operate at a completely different scale than their competition. The future of work will be largely automated, and it's really important that we're prepared. So, how do you do that? Firstly, stay informed with the advancements of tech. Secondly, focus on learning the skills to ensure you remain relevant for tomorrow's landscape. And lastly, remember that this is an opportunity, and the more willing you are to do the work to learn and adapt, the more empowered you'll become.
Some of these agents you saw in these videos are just amazing what they can do, because you can basically carry out a series of tasks or workflows from just a series of agents. Now, I want you guys to think about exactly how these agents were architected. Essentially in the same fashion in which you would write code, right? So when you write code in many programming languages, you would have a series of variables and expressions and statements, and then you would have modules, essentially like classes, which are templates. You would have various objects that communicate with one another. You would have a database layer, which would be your data access layer. Then you would have your BLL or business logic layer within. And that was basically the premise of an N-tier architecture system. And now what you're seeing is you're seeing these AI agents sort of mimic that, in which you have different layers that communicate with one another completely autonomously and completely separated into various areas or servers, even completely dedicated servers for specific agents. And what that does is it allows scalability between agents, so that as the system grows and the data increases, the systems can be easily scaled to meet business needs. So it is definitely key right now in this day and time for us to become more marketable as developers, as engineers, as architects. And how do we do it? How do we get ahead of the pack? That's simple. We just need to understand our current skill set. What do we understand about architecture? What do we currently understand about coding and integrations and APIs? Apply that knowledge to AI. How can we couple that knowledge that we already have with AI? Because all these systems are, and all these APIs do, is essentially the same thing that they've been doing for the last 30 to 40 years. They're allowing developers and businesses in general to integrate with each other and pass data through to each other. You have a request and you have a response in most cases, and they work in the same fashion. So understanding that and how data flows between actors of an application, like one person mentioned in the video that they have a separate AI agent on its own server. Okay, so understanding that and how that flows will help you to understand the overall architecture of a system. So yeah, that's something I would definitely recommend, and make sure that you guys jot down the various suggestions that they had in this video, because as they mentioned, Microsoft and Google are trying to lead the pack in open source solutions that are available to build agentic AI. So having that in mind, you're able to build some very complex stuff nowadays with very little code needed. Now, with that being said, I, for one, would still recommend that you understand what's under the hood. Because generally speaking, what ends up happening is the more that we leverage and depend on agentic AI or autonomous AI, the more that we're developing a black box of code. We're essentially creating black box code in a system. And what ends up happening is this code isn't necessarily the best in terms of quality, right? Because only a human currently is able to look at the code and say, there are ways to improve this code. Here are my approaches. Because the AI, all the AI is doing is using, for example, classification models or classification techniques and a bunch of data that they found online or a bunch of data that they've consumed based on the information we give it to deduce a solution via code. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the code is optimized. It doesn't mean that the code can function well in all cases. As the way that we did things before becomes more and more obsolete, we just need to find better ways of doing things using AI, different ways of doing things. The old may no longer work in the next 3 to 5 years. So we have to be prepared in how we do things, right? So let's just leverage the current skill sets that we have. We understand how classes and objects work. We understand how to put together a data model in a database, SQL, whatever have you, Postgres, NoSQL. We understand how integrations work. We understand the concepts of requests and responses, the concepts of publishing and subscribing. Let's leverage that knowledge and then apply AI, but not as a replacement for what we know, but rather a supplement to what we know. And then over time, there is no doubt in my mind that we would be able to still remain marketable and be ahead of the pack. Guys, go ahead and like this video and show me some love, because I'm bringing the heat on a regular basis. YouTube thinks you'll like this video right here. Go ahead and give that little video a click, and I'll see you on the next one.